Kevin J. Johnston here, freedomreport.ca. I've got great news and I've got bad news, all depending on how you look at it. This is a printout. You'll notice here I'm still using lined paper. I didn't go to the store yet and buy more. All right. From that Maria Ruda from the Peel District School Board. And it is not signed by Tony Pontes. There, have a look. There you go. The signature at the bottom of this letter is the same one that I'm showing to you on the screen right now. All right. So what we have is Tony Pontes gets this Marie chick to write letters for him, and she just copies and pastes his signature from wherever she has it. He doesn't actually even read these things that she sends out. And because of that, and because this is not sent to me from a lawyer, trust me when I say this, this holds no water, no weight, no nothing. Via regular mail and email, March the 6th, 2017, but she did not actually email it until today, March the 8th, to Kevin J. Johnston at my address. Dear Mr. Johnston, I am writing on behalf of the Peel District School Board, called the Board, as well as the Board of Trustees. Big surprise. At the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees on Tuesday, February 28th, 2017, during question period, you refused to leave the podium when directed by the chair. That's Janet McDougall, the one I told you about that sounds like an owl. The meeting then became unruly, requiring adjournment by the Board of Trustees. I would remind you that pursuant to Section 207 of the Education Act, hold on, before I read that, Janet McDougall told me that she would not listen to me. It was a personal attack. Janet McDougall is the one who created the problem in the crowd. The crowd reacted to her calling me a racist. Watch, put it up.
Mr. Johnston, I understand that you're here for a question, but I have to tell you on behalf of the board, we will not be hearing you this evening.
Why not?
Why not?
Please, we aren't even going to have question period if you continue. Mr. Johnston, you are well aware of the video that you posted that I take great offense.
I hope that you do, because we all take offense to what you're doing to us. Now, just so you all know, I did get your lawyer's letter today. The lawyer tried to intimidate me today. I made a video about that. I have one question for you. Let me ask it and I'm going.
For this, I will not entertain you in this boardroom. You are racist. You are disgusting.
I only wanted to ask one question. She wouldn't even entertain me on that. She's the one that cackled and yelled and screamed like a freak and set off what some people might refer to as a riot. What I refer to, though, as the future. Because this is going to happen a whole lot more often. You can't treat us the way you do and get away with it. So they send me now open meetings of boards. This is a Section 207 of the Education Act of Ontario, Canada. 207, subsection 1, subject to subsections 2 and 2.1. The meetings of a board and the meetings of a committee of the board, including a committee of the whole board, shall be open to the public. Right, I'm the public, and I'm there. And no person shall be excluded from a meeting that is open to the public except for improper conduct. Well, that's okay. I mean, I can't be excluded, right, until I behave inappropriately. And the only one that behaved inappropriately was Janet McDougall. Why is she allowed to be there? There's rules and provisos to throw her out. And believe me, I'm going to find them. Now, she puts down exclusion, or sorry, he, she, whatever, puts down exclusion of persons. The presiding officer may expel or exclude from any meeting any person who has been guilty of improper conduct at the meeting. All right? RSO 1990 E22073. Fine. But this does not mean that she can expel me from future meetings. It just means that specific meeting if my conduct would be improper. But improper is a subjective term. Somebody coughing might be improper. Somebody getting naked may be improper, but at the same time, someone getting naked may not be improper to someone else. So subjective nonsense is completely inexcusable when you're writing a law like this, but it's also unenforceable. And I'm going to tell you why in my rebuttal to this. The chair had the option of expelling you from the meeting. Such expulsion can, not will be, can be enforced by the police. Now, there were 2, possibly 3 police officers there. They stood, they watched, they made sure that I did not break the law. And because I did not break the law, the police officers did not even come down the stairs to where I was in the pit. Although I was threatened by one of their security guards. Nonetheless, if he had touched me, the police would have had to have arrested him. However, the Board of Trustees determined that it was appropriate to adjourn the meeting instead. Translation, the Board of Trustees are a bunch of cowards, couldn't face the reality of the problem that they caused and chose to walk away, but they did so laughing. I'll never forgive that. Page 2. Nevertheless, I'm writing on behalf of the board and the Board of Trustees to advise you that you are not to attend any property of the board, including all schools and administrative offices, for any purpose whatsoever. In respect, the board relies on the provisions of the Trespass Property Act of Ontario. Okay, fine. But this is not a legal document. This is just you telling me, nah, nah, nah. Tony, you do not own that piece of property. I do. So does everybody else who's paid taxes on it. So the Trespass Property Act of Ontario, because your own Education Act 207 tells me I can be there, counters, it trumps what you're saying here, because you're just telling me because you don't want me there, but you're not quoting a law or a statute that would say that you can block me from being on the property. Do you understand? You gave me right there in the middle, you told me that Education Act 207 protects me from you. And then you go ahead and try to tell me that I can't go and watch you make a fool of yourself in that room? Well, good luck with that, my friend. You maybe don't know about my background. It's time that you look into me, Tony, so that you know who you're dealing with. Next, if you do attend on any property of the board, you'll be asked to leave the premises immediately. Now, what that'll mean is some security guard might say, you have to leave, and I'm going to say, no. If you refuse, the police will be contacted and requested to remove you from the property. Fine. What I will be doing is informing the police services in advance that I will be going. And I might even, just for my own protection, request a police officer to be with me. In addition, the board will pursue an offense in accordance with Section 2(1)(b) of the Trespass Property Act, which, because their own rules, their own statutes are in place, it will trump this too. This exclusion from board property is effective immediately. Go to hell, Tony. Go to hell. The board expects compliance and will pursue enforcement if there's any breach of the exclusion. Again, a lawyer did not send this letter. A justice of the peace, nor a judge has issued this letter. This is not a court order. This is Tony Pontes being a coward, saying, Kevin, I'm afraid of you. You showed the whole world that we're crooked and cowards and traitors. Please don't come by and do it again, because we have no counter argument for you. That's what Tony's saying here. Actually, it's not Tony. It's this Maria Ruda who wrote the letter. This is my letter to them, which I've also emailed to the Rebel.media and the Mississauga News and the Toronto Star. March 8th, 2017. Hello, Peel Board of Education. I have received a letter today, March the 8th, 2017, which is dated March the 6th, 2017, from Maria Ruda. She claims that Tony Pontes is the author of the letter, but since the signature at the bottom of page 2 is the same as the JPEG that appears on the Peel District School Board website, I doubt Tony actually wrote this letter. Please let Marie know that I don't appreciate being lied to. Now, in Marie's letter, you accused me of being unruly on February 28th, 2017, during a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. That is a lie. Janet McDougald was out of line when she accused me of being a racist in front of a predominantly South Asian crowd, the same crowd that I have had the pleasure of getting to know personally. That act was one of malice and slander. It was a personal attack, which is malice in Canadian law. Attack that was without merit and was the most unprofessional behavior I have ever witnessed in any public forum. You, Janet, have the right to be an individual devoid of class and tact, but not when you are sitting at the boardroom table. Your reprehensible behavior and general rotten attitude should be relegated to the privacy of your own home only. It has no place in any educational or public facility. Marie's letter quoted the Education Act, Section 207. First, that's a statute, not a law, and I have signed no contracts agreeing to be governed by statutes in Ontario. Also, if you carefully read 207, subsection 3, you cannot expel me from meetings that have not yet happened. Your Education Act is a set of rules for you to follow, not for me. And the Peel District School Board head office is public property that I paid for and continue to pay for begrudgingly and involuntarily, which means I pay tax that I don't want to pay. I will be at all of your public meetings from this day forward, and I'll be using legal paperwork from real courthouses to do so. Naturally, if I am forced to not speak with you at the Peel District School Board head office, I'll be speaking with you at your homes, and I'll be inviting the entire public to join me in those visits. This is not a threat. This is me informing you that you do not have the right as elected officials to ignore me or the public simply because it is convenient to do so, and I will have my say whether it's in the public building you work in or otherwise. I'm looking forward to our next in-person meeting on March 22nd, 2017. Please have a great day and warmest regards, Kevin J. Johnston. And that went out to all of our trustees in Peel Region, Tony Pontes, the Rebel.media, Toronto Star, and Mississauga News. Now, everybody, I encourage you all, please come to that meeting on March the 22nd. Come to that meeting. We have to show Janet McDougall, the nutcase that she is, that she does not have the authority that she believes that she does. We do. They all work for us. We do not work for them. And to send me a letter essentially crying and begging me not to go to your school isn't going to work. Because as I've said in previous videos, if you want something from me that I'm not willing to give you, you have to be armed. If you have a loaded weapon pointed at me, you'll get what you want. If you have paper, you get nothing. Do you understand? Nothing. And any court orders you get to keep me away from that property, believe me, if I have to stay away from that property, I'll be at your front door instead. You want that? Ask Wendy Bennett Costante of the Ontario Lacrosse Association how happy she was to see me at her place at 5 o'clock in the morning, where I've got her on film in a nightgown and her cottage cheese arm sticking out. Do you people really want to see all of that? Do you want to see yourselves on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, at 5 o'clock in the morning on night vision camera, making a fool of yourself, getting upset with me? Do you want that? Because all I need to do is just write a letter to you, get it clacked by a lawyer, notarized, and now it's a legal document that I can serve to you anytime, pursuant to the rules of serving. I can go to your house anytime I want, and I will. And if I have to write a letter every single solitary day to be able to have the right to go on your personal properties every single day, I will. And I think you know I will. And my fans know I will. And they're looking forward to seeing me do it. So what you should do is avoid a lot of embarrassment and avoid having me in your personal lives by simply entertaining me at the March 22nd meeting. Let me ask my question and be done with it. I'm Kevin J. Johnston, freedomreport.ca.